Hey guys, Miss Berg again. Now we are going to be going over 10-7. So I am going to flip this around. 10-7 talks a lot about elapsed time. So if you have like a watch like mine, here I'm going to show you. You can definitely use that to your advantage. If you can pull out the little piece and be able to play around with it, you can. Also, I have like a little thing here that Mr. Brian let me use to help you as well, something to look at. I also, if I don't have a manipulative, I just look on this as well to help me as well when it comes to telling time. So first thing, you're still going to use your steps when needed. So step one is saying whether it is lost or sold, which means this one is a large to a small unit. And then that's going to spell out lost, which that T is times. And then this one is a small to a large unit, which is that D stands for divide. So that is step one. Step two is to say one of your large units equals blank of your small units. All right, so a computer company claims its laptop has a battery that lasts 4 hours. The laptop actually runs for 200 minutes before the battery ran out. Did the battery last for 4 hours? All right, so it's saying 4 hours versus 200 minutes. So we're kind of comparing these two. The thing is, it's asking, did it last 4 hours? Well, here's the thing. You could change this to minutes to be able to see, or you could change this to hours. In this case, I would probably, I guess it really doesn't matter which way you do it. You could change this one to minutes so you can see what is going on. The book is going to make you go to hours, so I'll show you both. If I am changing this to minutes, I am going to be going from a large unit to a small unit. So that means I'm going to be timesing. So then 1 hour equals how many minutes? Well, that is 60. So to solve that, so here's also where you can look at, so 60 seconds for a minute, 60 seconds for an hour, 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 52 weeks in a year, 12 months in a year, 365 days in a year. So to do this, I would do 60 times 4. So 60 times 4. Well, 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 6 is 24. So actually, this is truly saying 240 minutes versus 200 minutes. So is 200 minutes 4 hours? It is not quite. So it's 40 minutes less. So it's only 3 hours. So that is a way that you could do it. Also, we can change the 200 minutes to hours. So this is going from a small unit to a large. So we are dividing. And then 1 of our large, 1 hour, is how many minutes? Well, that is 60 minutes. So to do this, I would do 200 divided by 60. So I'm going to do that up here. All right, so can 60 go into 2? No. Can it go into 20? No. Can it go into 200? Yes. So this is where you can play around with it. Well, we already know what 60 times 4 is. It's 240. So that's too much. So I'm going to try doing 3. So that would be 0. This is 18. So yeah, that's as close as I can get without going over. So now I'm going to go ahead and say 3 times 60 is 180. So subtract, that would be 0. 0 minus 8, can you do that? No. So 10 minus 8 is 2. So therefore, your answer is 3 hours and then 20 minutes, which is less than 4 hours. So the battery blank lasts as long as the computer company claims. Well, the battery doesn't last as long. All right, next it says, Jill spent much of her summer away from home. She spent 10 days with her grandparents, 9 days with her cousins, and 22 days at camp. How many weeks and days was she away from home? All right, so in this case, it says how many weeks and days. So truly what we're doing is we are going to be really changing it to weeks. But why they're saying weeks and days is probably because there's going to be a remainder. So in this case, I'm going to take all those days and then I am going to change it to weeks. All right, so it said she spent 10 days with her grandparents, 9 days with her cousins, and 22 days at camp. So in order to figure out how many days she was away, you would have to add up all those days. So basically, if I do this, it would be 9 plus 10, which is 19 plus 22. So if you did this, it would be 11, carry your 1. That would be 41 days. So, which one is bigger, days or weeks? It is your weeks. So actually, we are going to go from a small unit to a large. So we are dividing. So in this case, now you do 1 of your large, which is 1 week, equals how many of your small, which is days. So in this case, how many days are in 1 week? Well, it's over here. 1 week is 7 days. So to solve this, I would have to do 41 divided by 7. So how many 7s can go into 4? None. How many 7s can go into 41? Well, as close as you can get to 41 without going over would be 5, because 5 times 7 is 35. So then you have 1 and take away 5. You can't do that. So then you have to come over and borrow. 11 minus 5 is 6. So therefore, how many full weeks is that? It was 5 full weeks. And then it was 6 out of the 7 days as well. So 6 days as well. So 5 weeks and 6 days. Okay. Next. All right. The next thing that you are going to be seeing as well is it's called elapsed time. So they're going to tell you like when they're starting, when they're ending, and you got to figure out how much time went. So here it says Monica spent 2.5 hours working on her computer. She had started working at 10:30 a.m. What time did Monica stop working? All right, so keep in mind when it comes to this, noon starts 12 o'clock p.m. because this is also something that you're going to have to write down. Not only are you going to give me the time, you have to tell me whether it is a.m. or p.m. So do keep that in mind today. Midnight is when it starts, 12 o'clock a.m. All right, so in this case, I would do 10:30, and then I got to go 2.5 hours. So if I go just by 1 hour and then another hour, then we can figure this out. So what it's saying to do is you could use like a number line to help you figure that out. So they're saying their strategy is to go 2.5 hours, is to first go an hour. So in 1 hour would be 11:30. All right, so then they're saying, okay, now jump to another hour, which is 1 more hour would be 12:30. So that is how much time it is so far. So you can also look at it here so that you could say, okay, that's 1 hour, that is 2 hours. So 1, 2 hours. So we're at 12:30 right now. All right, so now it says, now go a half of an hour. Well, remember, it says over here, a half of an hour is 30 minutes. So remember, each one of these is worth 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So actually it's going to be 1 o'clock by the time you do that last half hour would be a 1 o'clock. And this is actually talking about PM because it went past noon. So once it hits past noon, it is now 12 p.m. So therefore your answer would have been 1 o'clock p.m. All right, next. It's saying Robert's soccer team needs to be off the soccer field by 12:15 p.m. Each game is at most 1 3/4 hours long. What time should the game begin to be sure that the team finishes on time? So therefore, in this case, 1/4 of an hour is 15 minutes. So if you like cut this up into fourths, this is your 15 minutes, 5, 10, 15. That is, 1. So that's 1/4 is this section. This one would be 2/4, this one and this one. And then 3/4 would be over here. So if it's saying 3/4 of an hour, you would have to count all these sections. So if you started here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 minutes. So this one is 45 minutes. Okay, so what they're trying to say is that the team has to be off the soccer field by 12:15. Each game is at the most 1 3/4 hours long. What time should that game begin to make sure that that team finishes on time? So in this case, what they're saying is to subtract the minutes first, which is a good rule of thumb. I always subtract the minutes off first. So this is where looking at a clock, this is showing you 12:15. Now, remember, this is when it needs to be off. So we're actually going to go backwards because we got to figure out their starting time. This is their end time. So if I want to figure out where they should be, what time they should be starting out, I'm going to actually work backwards. So in this case, it's 12:15. Now they said it is really 1 hour and 45 minutes is how long this game is. So we should go and first subtract off the minutes. So I'm going to go backwards 45 minutes earlier. So 5, 10, 15, remember that's 12 p.m. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So this is actually 30. So it's actually 11:30. And then this would be AM because it's before noon. All right, then it's saying now that is 45 minutes. So now it's saying now go back. So that was the 45 minutes. Now we have to go back just 1 hour. So if we were at 11:30 and we went back 1 hour, just subtract off an hour. So that would now be 10:30 a.m. So therefore the game should start at 10:30 a.m. To start this game. All right, next. So first thing, again, I would do the lost or sold in this case, because we are going from minutes to hours. So which one is larger, a minute or 1 hour? Well, definitely an hour is the larger unit. So this is your small. So therefore, you're going to be spelling out sold, which means that D means divide. All right, now, one of our large, which is an hour, so one of our large units, equals how many of our small units, which is minutes. So how many minutes are in an hour? It is 60. So therefore, to solve this, I would do 540 divided by 60. So 540 divided by 60. So can 60 go into 5? No. Can it go into 54? No. Can it go into 540? And this is where it's a yes. So then you can do like guessing and checking. In this case, I would do try 7. So 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 6 is 42. So that is too small. So now we're going to have to go up more. So now let's try 9. So 0 times 9 is 0. 9 times 6 is 54. So therefore, your answer is 9. 9 times 60 is 540 with nothing remaining. So therefore, your answer is 9 hours. All right, next one. A day or an hour, which one is more? Well, that is definitely your day. So this is your small. So then if you want to do this, you're going to be spelling out the word lost, which means times. So then 1 day, one of our large, which is day, equals how many hours? Well, that is 1 day is how many hours? Now remember that conversion chart is over here. 1 day is 24 hours. So therefore, I'm going to do 24 times 8. So 24 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Carry your 3. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 3 is 19. So that would be 192. All right, next. This one is saying hours, but we are really changing it to days. But then don't get confused by this hour. That might be meaning that there's going to be a remainder to it. So keep that in mind. All right, so we're really going from hours to days. So which one is the larger unit, 1 hour or a day? It is definitely a day. So that's your large. So this would be your small. So you're going to be spelling out the word sold, which is divide. Okay, so 1 day equals how many hours? So this would be how many hours are in a day? There are 24. So therefore, you would do 110 divided by 24. So can 24 go into 1? No. Can it go into 11? No. Can it go into 110? Yes. So this is where you're going to have to play around with it. I can start off timesing by 5. That is 20. Carry your 2. This is 10 plus 2 is 12. So that is close, but too high. So then I'm going to bring it down by 1. So what is 4 times 4? That would be 16. Carry your 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So therefore that is 4. And then that would be 96. Can I have 0 and take away 6? No. So I'm going to come over and borrow. So 10 minus 6 is 4. 10 minus 9 is 1. So therefore it would be 4 whole days and then 14 out of the 24 hours. So that would be just 14 hours as well. So 4 days, 14 hours. All right, now this is one of the elapsed times. What it's saying is you are going to find the end time. All right, so first of all, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I really like to use, I like using, well, adding up the minutes first. It's so much easier. So here it is showing 9:17. So I gotta go down one more. All right, so here is 9 and that's 15. So that's 16. So then this one is on 17. Now it says to go 18 minutes. If you need to just count 18, go ahead and do it. In this case, since it is not more than 60, you can just add these minutes up. So if you added up these minutes, this would be 15, carry your 1. This would be 30. However, the thing is, if you have two numbers and it comes out to be more than 60, then that means it's going to be going over an entire minute. And that's where it gets kind of ugly when you do that. So if it's something like this, where it's saying it starts at 9:17 and then it's going 5 hours and 18 minutes later, always just look at the minutes first. So that is not going to be bigger than 60. So that I could just add those. So therefore, and if you wanted to, you could also do this. Just keep going ahead and adding. So that is on the 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 minutes, which is on the 35. So it actually works out for us. It comes out to be 35. So far we're still at 9:45. Sorry, 9:35. So now we just finished the minutes. The minutes are done. So this is that time. The 35 is our minutes. Now we're just going to be worrying about the hours. So now I'm just going to be moving the hours. So the next one would be 1 hour. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you look, it is actually now 2:35. So also you can also do that here. You can now say, okay, here's the minutes. That's it. Now I'm just going to go up by minutes, hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually going to be 2:35. Now, since it was AM and we went past noon, what is the actual time? It is actually 2:35, but you need to say AM or PM. Well, since it went past noon, it is now PM. So the end time was 2:35 after 5 hours and 18 minutes after 9:17. So what elapsed time means is time that went by. All right, so in this case, sometimes they're going to give you the end time. Sometimes they're going to give you the start time. You need to find the start time, and sometimes they want you to find the elapsed time. So this is where some kind of a visual like this will help us. So if you do have a clock to look at, I will do a couple with you, and then I'll have you do some on your own. So here it says that they started at 11:38 a.m. So that's where they started. So if you want, can go ahead and show that. This is 11. And then the 38, that's 35, 36, 37, 38. Okay, so that's where it's. They said that 10 minutes elapsed. So we're just going to worry about the minutes first. I always teach my students to worry about the minutes first, then worry about the hours. So I'm going to worry about just the minutes. So I'm going to go 10 minutes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, that is 48. Again, so 38 plus 10 more. It did not go over that 60. So that works out for us. We can just do 38 plus 10, as long as it does not go over 60. So that is actually 48. So therefore, we know that it's going to be 48. Now we're talking 11:48 so far, but now we have to go 3 hours. So now we're just going to worry about the hour part. So in this case, I'm going to start here. So 1 hour more would be 1, 2, 3. So therefore, my answer would be 2, and then that is 48. So 2:48. So this is where it gets a lot easier if you just if you can look at a clock. That helps you out a lot. So what is it again? Remember, we started at AM and now we're at 2:48. So therefore, we went past 12 noon, which is now PM. So this is another one that is PM. Okay, next. They're saying the end time was 1:15 p.m. And then the time that went by was 2 hours, 37 minutes. And then they want to know what the start time was. All right, now this is where we're actually going to be working backwards, because this is the end time. We're trying to figure out where they started from. So let's go ahead and do that first. We are going to worry about the minutes first. So this is 1:15. All right, so remember, we're going to go 37 minutes. Now, 30 minutes, remember, is just going around the complete other way. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let's worry about that part. So if I go past 30, this would be now 1 o'clock. So now we're getting into 12. So now this is 30 minutes, but we need 7 more minutes. So if we need to, I think it is easier just to look. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is right. Oops, I'm trying to get it right on. It is right there. So that is the minutes. The minutes is at 35, 36, 37, 38. So it is 38. So let's go ahead and mark that. We know the minute part is 38. So now remember, we're at 12:38 where we are. Was your 37 minutes going backwards? Now, some people will be like, well, can I just subtract that? No, you cannot, because you cannot take 37 and 15 and subtract 37, because you're actually not even getting to 60 minutes. So that won't work. So in this case, that is why I'm doing it this way, working backwards. That's where it's a lot easier for you to look at something like a clock to help you. So far we are at 12:38, but now we have to go back 2 hours. So if I go back 2 hours, just the hours, there's 1, there's 2. So therefore my time is now 10:38. And remember, it's ended at PM. So if we ended at PM and we went past the noon, then what are we in now? We are in AM. Okay, so I want you to try 7 and 8 on your own. So go ahead and pause this video and try 7 and 8 on your own. All right, so here is the thing. Here is, it said that the time that passed was 2 hours and then 1/4 of an hour. Well, 1/4 of an hour, just like over here, 1/4 of an hour is just like one section of this pie, which is 5, 10, 15 minutes. So this is 15 minutes. So we would end at 5:30. So that was our end time in this case. Okay, so here's 5:30. And it said that was our end time. So then they're saying 15 minutes happened before. So I'm actually got to go before that because this is the end. So we got to go and work and find out what the start time is by going this way. Well, 15 minutes from here would be 5, 10, 15. So we know that we're on the 15. So I'm going to say that right now. That is, we are at the 15 marker minute wise. Now let's worry about the hour. We're at 5:15 right now. Now we have to go back 2 hours. So if I go back 2 hours, be 1, 2. So therefore it would be 3:15. Now keep in mind, we ended at 5:30. We went back 2 and 1/4 hours. It came out to be 3:15. So we did not go past a 12. So therefore it will keep the same. We are still talking about PM. All right, next. This one, we were talking about the start time. So the start time was 7:41. So 41 was right here. Okay, so this is where we are starting. And it wants to know how much time went by if it was now 8:50. Well, how I always tell my students is to worry about the minutes first. So we're at 41 and we need to end at the 50. So let's see how many minutes that is. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So again, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that was only 9 minutes to get from 7:41 to 50. So that was only 9 minutes away. Now let's figure out how many hours. So we are now at 7:50 right here. So we need to get to 8:50. So how many hours is that going from 7 to 8? Well, that is only 1 hour. So therefore, your answer would be 1 hour, 9 minutes of elapsed time. All right, so it says, explain how you could find the number of seconds in a full 24-hour day, then solve it. All right, so in this, we would have to change seconds to 24 hours. So first of all, what you could do is you could see how many seconds are there in a minute. So there is going from seconds to minutes. It would be 60 seconds in a minute. But then we're not done yet. Then we have to go minutes to hours. So how many minutes are in hours? Well, there are 60 minutes in an hour. So you would have to times it by 60, and then you would go hours to 24 hours. So 1 hour to 24, then you would have to times it by 24. So therefore, if you did this multiplication right here, I'm just going to tell you it would come out to be 86,400 seconds. All right, next. This one says, which internet services downloaded the podcast in less than 4 minutes? So here's the thing. This is telling you time in seconds. So these are all listed out in seconds, but they're actually saying 4 minutes. Well, in order to figure that out, we should be changing it to seconds for us to figure out what is going on. It's saying minutes, but everything is in seconds. So we should change 4 minutes to seconds so we could see it better. So a minute or a second, which one is more? A minute is longer, so therefore this is a large to a small. So this is spelling out loss, so timesing. So 1 minute equals how many seconds? Well, there are 60 seconds in 1 minute, so you would do 60 times 4. So 60 times 4, that would be 0. 4 times 6 would be 24. So it's asking which internet services downloaded the podcast in less than 4 minutes. So we want to know which ones are less than our 4 minutes, which is 240 seconds. So the ones that are less than 240 seconds, well, this one is not, that one is definitely not. This one is not less than 240, so therefore it is these two. So it is Groovebox and Internet C. All right, what service took the longest to download? How much longer did it take than Red Fox in minutes and seconds? Okay, so it wanting to know which one took the longest to download. Well, it is definitely Top Hat, and it said that it wanted to know how much longer than Red Fox in minutes and seconds. So in this case, there are a couple things that you could do. You could know that Top Hat was this many seconds, and it says which service took the longest to download. Well, it is definitely Top Hat. So that is the question on that one. The next question is, how much longer did it take than Red Fox? So Red Fox is 310 seconds. So how much longer? So we have to subtract to figure out the difference here. So this would be 0. This would be 4. 0 minus 3, you can't do that. So therefore, this would be 10 minus 3, which is 740 seconds. This is 740 seconds longer. However, it's saying how much longer did Red Fox go in minutes and in seconds. So we have to now change this to minutes. So this is your small unit to your large. So we are dividing. So now we got to figure out what we're dividing by. So 1 minute is how many seconds? Well, it is 60. So therefore you would have to divide this out. Can 60 go into 7? No. 74? Yes, one time. That would be 60. Subtract 4, 1, check it. You are good. Bring down your next number. How many 60s would go into 140? Well, you could times it by 2. That would be 0 and 12. So that would be 120. So that is 2. And then that would be, subtract that, that would be 20 minutes. So therefore, it would be 12 full minutes. And then how many seconds left over? It would be 20 seconds left over. So therefore, it is 12 minutes and 20 seconds longer. All right, next it says if both Jackrabbit and Red Fox started podcast download at 10:05, at what time did each service complete its download? What is the difference between these times? All right, so it's saying that we'll say Jackrabbit is JR, and then we're also talking about Red Fox, which is RF. All right, so they're saying that they're both going to start at 10:05 a.m. And then this is going to be 10:05 a.m. as well. So then it's saying if it downloads starting at 10:05, what time will each service complete its download? So we got to figure out when will it end. So Jackrabbit is 980. So that's really not going to help us much because that's talking about seconds. So we need to change this to minutes so it's easier for us to see what's going on. So let's change this many seconds to minutes. So in this case, this is a small unit to a large, so we are dividing. And then 1 minute equals how many seconds? That would be 60. So 980 over 60. Can 60 go into 9? No. Can it go into 98? Yes, that would be 1 time. Subtract, that would be an 8. This would be a 3. Check it, we are good. Bring down your 0. How many 60s will go into 380? So this is where I'm going to have to play around with some numbers. I'm going to try timesing it by 5. This is 0 and this is 30. So could I fit another 60 in there? I think so. So I'm going to try again. This would be 0. 6 times 6 is 36. And yeah, that's as close as I'm going to get. So that would be 6. 360 subtract, that would be 20. So therefore this one is really 60 minutes, and then how much is left over? 20 seconds left over. So that's what that one is. Now talking about the Red Fox. Red Fox is doing 310 seconds, and we're changing it to minutes. So this is small to large, so we are dividing. And then 1 minute equals how many seconds? So that would be 60. So then we got to see how many 60s will go into 310. So how many 60s go into 310? Can 60 go into 3? No. Can it go into 31? Nope. Can it go into 310? Yes. So as close as you can get without going over would be 5. And then that would be 300, subtract, that would be 10 seconds left over. So in this case, this one over here is really going to be 5 more minutes. Because remember, this talks about the minutes. We're talking about minutes. And then how many seconds are left over? It would be 10 seconds left over. And then here with the Jackrabbit one, it was 16 minutes. So that's underneath the minutes, and then 20 seconds. All right, so now we can kind of add these. So it's still going to be 20 seconds here. And then this is not going to go over 60, so that we can just add this. The minutes is going to be 11, carry your 1. that would be 21. So this one would be 10, 21, and 20 seconds. Here, this one would be still your 10 seconds. This is still talking about AM. So then 5 plus 5, that would be 10 as well, and 10. So in this case, this is what the minutes are going to be. This is what the time is going to be when they are done. So what it's asking is, what is the difference between these two times? All right, so now we got to go ahead and take these. Remember, that is the hour. This is the minutes. And then we're just going to add on the seconds. This is seconds. So if you need to make a little note, this is 10, 10, and 10. So this one would be 10 seconds. This is 1 minus 0 would be 1. And then subtract that, that would be 1. So therefore, it would be 11 minutes and 10 seconds of a difference. So that's how much difference there is. All right. I want you to go ahead and try 13 on your own. So please pause that and answer those 2 questions. All right. So if you did this, it says Samit and his friends went to the movie at 7:30 p.m. and the movie ended at 9:55 p.m. How long was that movie? Well, first of all, you could have started at 30 and ended at 55. See how many minutes that would have been. You should have used a clock of some sort to help you see that. You also have these to look at as well and help you if you don't have a clock handy. So that would have been 25 minutes right there. So then now you are really at 7:55. Now you're just going to worry about the hours. Well, 7 to 8 is 1 hour. 8 to 9 is 2 hours. So therefore, it would have been 2 hours, 25 minutes. Now it says Samit arrived 35 minutes after that movie ended. What time did he get home? So remember, he then went 35 minutes. Well, this is where I was talking about. If we are at 9:55, so I'm going to show you 9:55. So it said that it went 35 minutes after the fact. Well, if it's 9:55 and now I go up here, now it is 10. So keep that in mind. So that was just 5 minutes. So 5 minutes to 10. So that's what I did right here. I did 9:55 plus 5 more. That's now 10 minutes. So now we went 5 minutes. So now we only have 30 minutes left to go. So now we just go and do 30 minutes after that. And now it is 10:30. And of course, we're talking about PM. So we did not hit at past midnight yet. So it is 10:30 p.m. Okay, so here is our next one. Again, as a reminder, the step 1 is to figure out whether you are doing lost or sold. Step 2 is to do 1 of your large unit equals what of your small unit. All right. So on this one, and then don't forget, put AM or PM on elapsed times. because I will be marking out a point for having AM or PM as well. All right, so this one is not talking about time. It's just saying now just change hours to minutes. So you will have that one for homework. Again, this one is not talking about AM or PM either. It just wants you to change 30 minutes to seconds. So this is where you would do your lost or sold. So which one is bigger, a minute or a second? Well, minute is larger and this is your small. So therefore it is times. So then one of your large, 1 minute equals how many seconds? Well, that is, if you need to go back, remember, if you need to go back to see the conversions, if you don't remember, it is on page 623. It is in this box. So in this case, 1 minute is 60 seconds. So to do this, I would have to do 60 times 30. So 60 times 30. Now, when you have zeros in the back, you can go ahead and see how many they are. There are 2, 1 and 2. So the quick way is just to take them and put them there. And then you just do 8 times 3, which is 18. So therefore your answer is 1,800 minutes. Okay, next. On this one, it's saying you're going to go from hours to minutes. So which one is larger, 1 hour or 1 minute? 1 hour is larger. This is your small. So you are going to be spelling out times at lost, which is that T stands for times. And then 1 hour equals how many minutes? Well, 1 hour is 60 minutes. So in this case, you can do that right here. 60 times 15. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. Then bring down your 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 6 is 6. This would be 900. So that one would be 900 minutes. Next, it's saying a year to days. So this is your large to your small. So we are going to be timesing. And then 1 year is how many days? Well, this conversion again can be shown on that one page, 623. So 1 year in days. Well, 1 year to days is 365 days. So you can do 1 year is 365 days. So to do this, I would do 365 times 5. So 365 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry your 2. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32, carry your 3. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 3 is 18. So that would be 1,825. So your homework will be 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10, and then 12. Now keep in mind, these are elapsed times. Then also 14. Now I'm going to be doing this side with you. So it says your start time is at 6:30 p.m. and then you go 2 hours and 18 minutes later. What is the end time? So this is one good thing here, because you could just look at the minutes itself. So this is 18 more minutes. So you can actually just add these because it is not going to be more than 60. So this would be 8 and this would be 4. So that would be 48 minutes. Oh, it would be at 48. And then 2 hours later, you could also just add that because it's not going over 12. So 6 plus 2 is So therefore your answer would have been 8:48. And then this is PM, so we did not go past midnight, so therefore it is still PM. Next, it says that you started at 2 PM, some time passed, and now you're at 8:30 PM. So again, if you need a visual, you could look at this. I need visuals as well a lot. So it's saying that you are going to start at 0 and then you're going to end at 30. So if you do that, how many minutes did you go to get from 0 to 30? Well, that was only 30 minutes. Okay, so now we're at 2:30. Now we need to end at 8:30. So now we're going to worry about the hours. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore it is 6 hours, 30 minutes passed, and now it is 8:30. All right, next it says Julio watched a movie that started at 11:30 a.m. and then he ended at 2:15 p.m. What time, how long was that movie? All right, so they says that it started at 11:30. So this is where I like to look at time here. So started at 11:30. And now it ended at 2:12. So in order to do this, what I would first do is worry about the minutes. So we're actually going from 30 to the 12. So if I do that, we can go here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Ah, there's 30. So now we're at 12 p.m. So there's 30 minutes there. But then we're going to go to 12. So 30, there is 35. And then here is, so that is 40. And then we're going to go, it says 12. This is only 12:10. So we got to go 12:12. So that would be 42 minutes. So what happened there was 42 minutes to get a 30 to the 12. So 30 to the 12 again. So that was 42 minutes. So now we are sitting at 12, 12, 12, 12 right now. All right, now how do I get from 12:12 to 2 o'clock, 2:12? That would be 1, 2 hours. So that would be 2 hours. So your answer would have been 2 hours, 42 minutes. All right, next on the back. Here it says Michelle went on a hike and started on the trail at 6:45 a.m. and she returned at 3:28 p.m. How long did it take her to hike that? All right, so in this case, I would really need to have a visual of this again. So I'm going to make this 6:45 because that's really where we're starting at. So 6:45 is right here. And then it says she's going to return at 3:28. Well, let's really worry about the minutes first. We are going to worry about just the minutes. So she's starting here. We're going to worry about getting that to the 28. So this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43. So that is 43 minutes to get to the 28 from starting at 45 and getting to the 28. So now we are really at 7:28. Okay, so when we move, we're now at 7:28. Okay, so now we got to worry about how do we get to the 3 now if we're at 7:28. So how many hours? Well, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is actually 8 hours and 43 minutes. So that is how you do that. Again, I look at a clock. Also, some of you could also see 7:15 would be 30 minutes. And then how much more longer do you need to go from 7:15 to the 28? Well, that would be plus 13 more minutes. So that would be a total of 43 minutes. So you are now at 7:43, but then you got to go to that, count those hours. So this is where a clock will come in handy. If you don't have a clock, you could also refer back to these clocks to look at to help you also. And you can just go ahead and do that. So the other one I want to work on right here is number 3. Molly is filling a pitcher that holds 2 gallons of water. She is filling the pitcher with just a 1 cup measuring cup. How many times will she have to fill that 1 cup measuring cup to help fill this pitcher? So again, it says that it can hold 2 gallons of water, but she's only going to fill them up by the cups. So how many cups will she need to fill up this entire pitcher? So in this case, we're going from 2 gallons. And the question is, how many times would she have to fill up that 1 cup measuring cup? So we are going to change it to cups. So this is your large to your small. So we are timesing. And now 1 gallon is how many cups? Well, remember, if you have that big G to help guide you on that, you could just quickly make that very quickly. This is your Q's, and Q's, and then how many children are in each one. Remember, there's 4 in each one. That's your cups. So then 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, or 4 times 4, is 16 cups in 1 gallon. So to do this, I would do 16 times 2. So 16 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry your 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So that would actually be 32 times that they would have to fill that 1 cup measuring cup to fill that. So the things that you will have for homework on this page is 2, 4, 5, and 6. And that is all for your homework on 10-7. Then we are going to be skipping the chapter review. So we are not going to the chapter review. We are then, next time that I see you, we will be going into chapter 11. So please make sure you have your chapter 11. All right, see you guys later. Bye.